everyone. This is Ali Hussein Kasim of Ali Talks Tech. In this week's weekly roundup of tech news across Africa and the world, I'm covering a couple of stories. The first one is Airtel Kenya's mobile money steady rise over the last couple of years. I'll touch on the blockchain revolution in African finance. Then I'll come back into my home country, Kenya, where the business registration service (BRS) had a potential data breach. Nigeria launches Africa's first regulated stablecoin cNGN, and then we will take a look at what Africa is doing around the AI revolution currently ongoing across the world. So let's look at Airtel Kenya's money steady rise and why this is important. Since the launch of M-Pesa more than 13 years ago, M-Pesa has become a dominant player in the Kenyan financial services ecosystem and increasingly moving across Africa in a number of countries. There has been a conversation for some time around dominance and around potential concentration risk of one player. That's why Airtel Money's steady mobile money rise in market share, although still minute, is good news for the long-term stability of Kenya's financial services ecosystem. The steady rise of Airtel Money's market share is good news. It's good news because it promises a more robust and open financial services ecosystem. And this is specifically important in Kenya because mobile money has become so dominant in our financial services ecosystem. Most Kenyans use mobile money like everybody else drinks water. Then there is obviously the conversation around the faster payment system that the Central Bank of Kenya has been talking about. So combined with that, we hope to see a more robust financial services ecosystem in Kenya. Now we look at the blockchain revolution in African finance. There's been an interesting and steady rise of blockchain-based payment systems, and this is especially so in Nigeria. It's quite interesting to see how Nigerian regulators and policymakers are really starting to embrace the whole blockchain conversation. The very recent introduction of the Nigerian stablecoin based 1-to-1 with the Naira is good news. We are really talking about more integration between financial services, traditional financial services, and the crypto ecosystem. This brings to the fore the fact that instead of looking at the crypto financial services ecosystem as something in the periphery, we are seeing Nigerian policymakers and regulators bringing this into the center stage. And there are some super interesting fintechs that are rising out of this. Some I'm not at liberty to mention, but one in particular I will mention, which is Zone. Zone is a regulated blockchain payment ecosystem that was born out of the earlier company called Upzone, which broke into one core banking. The new product for core banking is called Core, and the product for payment, which blockchain payments, is called Zone. This is good news, guys. This is really, really good news because one of the key issues across Africa around payments is the cost of transactions. Blockchain promises, one of the key use cases for blockchain, it promises to reduce this cost substantially. Now we come to Kenya's business registration service data breach. Many companies are complaining their data is out there in the open. How has this happened, and what are the key takeaways? First, cybersecurity is now center stage, whether from a personal perspective, from a corporate perspective, or from a national perspective. So we need to be taking this a lot more seriously. This has stopped being a techie conversation. It is now a board level conversation. It is now a national security conversation. So the key takeaways of this data breach: first, we need to look at an immediate activation of incident response plans. And Kenya has an incident response center. So not sure whether how this is being handled yet, because unfortunately public information is scanned. And that's another thing. Yeah. Although the business registration service issued a public statement, it was a guarded, very guarded public statement. They need to come out openly and express to Kenyans and tell them exactly what has been breached, what action they're taking, and what are the mitigating factors going forward that they are going to look at to ensure that there is less data breaches. Engagement with law enforcement and cybersecurity experts is going to be crucial going forward. Enhanced security protocols, transparent communication with stakeholders, as I've said. So, lastly, guys, in today's interconnected world, data breaches don't just affect individuals; they affect a diverse range of stakeholders. Lastly, I want to cover Africa's response to the AI revolution that is going on. Although we have many people who keep on talking about the fact that we are not ready, we don't have the resources to get into the artificial intelligence revolution. We are starting to see a number of countries taking action. Last week, Kenya's tech ambassador, Ambassador Thigo, launched the Kenya AI Principles paper. Feel free to visit my LinkedIn page. The whole AI Principles document is there. Thank you, Ambassador, for leading this conversation in the country and in Africa. In Nigeria, Winnie University has launched the first AI-focused institution, which marks a very significant milestone in Africa's tech ecosystem. This is set to open its doors in Epe, Lagos, and the university is really focused on a number of things: AI skills gap on the continent, AI implementation in Africa, which has been surging by 2.5 times since 2017. They'll be looking at AI ethics, preparing students for the future job market. They'll be looking at machine learning, natural language processing, and so on and so forth. So guys, this is it for this week's weekly roundup. Looking forward to speaking to you guys again next week. Asanteni sana.